my name is Sol, I'm a geek, I'm Hispanic. It happened. I just watched Coco, my most anticipated movie of the year. Now, let's review it, talk about it, and this review is full of spoilers. If you have not seen this film or you don't want to hear spoilers, don't watch more of this video. Thank you for coming and watch this video, but I would recommend you first watching the film and then coming back. I literally just watched the movie, so I'm kind of like, I don't have notes, I'm just saying everything. Not very professional, but here it's an environment where we can just talk and have fun. So yeah, first of all, the animation, wow, the animation was amazing. From the first scene, the way they introduced the backstory of Miguel, it's in such an original way. Sense of realness in it. I didn't watch it in 3D, but I bet it's amazing in 3D. But there's this one, there's a lot of things where there's a lot of crowds, and you really feel like you're in there, and you just want to like move in between people, and it just feels so real. And the details from clothes to hair, everything is just so wonderfully made, especially the characters designed. Oh my gosh, they are real people. They're so appealing. They're all made so, I don't know how to explain it. They all feel so real, like people I've seen in real life in Mexico, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And with the skeletons, what I think the problem was with the skeletons, sometimes there were too many like jokes about them taking their heads off and like the eyeballs falling, which I feel like kids might enjoy those things, but I personally was like, okay, it's funny the first time, but after 50 times, I don't know if that's that funny. And then a problem with the animation at one point, there's only one scene when I was like, that's weird. They get out of this, you see the city of the dead, or there's this one shot that looks very like it didn't finish to rendered, and then you see Hector and Miguel talking or something like that. It's very fast, and it fixes really fast, but there's just like 1 second where I was like, that looks kind of weird. But that was the only problem with animation. The rest was phenomenal. The colors are amazing, and you can really see the difference between the land of the dead comparing to our world. It's amazing, the difference. And the part where they're in Mexico, it's so beautiful, so real, so detailed. I love every second of it. Wish we could have seen more of the, that was one little problem that I was like, okay, I'm loving the land of the dead, and I know the whole plot is revolving this part, but I kind of want to go see how they're doing in the land of the alive people, because it was so beautiful to look at and so interesting. It's on the world. Can we talk about those petals in the bridge? Like in the trailers, you got yourself an idea how it looked, but this is just humongous. And the colors of the alebrijes, they're so bright and beautiful, so eye-catching, and it's amazing. Un poco loco. Oh my gosh, the characters are so good. Okay, my ranking: Hector, then Miguel, then everyone else. Okay, it's just Hector for me was so cool. At first I was like, what's with this guy? What's his backstory? Warning, I went with spoilers in this film, so I know who he was, but it still surprised me to get to know him more and his life, and I wanted to know why he couldn't pass. There were so many things that I did not know about him that I was very intrigued, and he was funny in the way he was like, hey chamaco, and this and that. Very funny character. I think it was very shocking when I found out that Ernesto de la Cruz had poisoned him, because that was a detail that no one had spoiled me. I went like, oh, it was so soap opera telenovela. Later on I realized, but in the moment it was, which is good, the soap opera telenovela thing, because it matched. I think it was great, the drama, everything. But in the moment when I found out, I was like so shocked. I was like, how dare you, Ernesto? That's horrible. And I felt so bad that he never got to like get back to his family. That broke my heart. I was like, you know, he did a bad thing leaving them, but he was coming back, and I was like, so sad. It was very sad. My favorite moment, one of my favorite moments in this film was when they sang Un poco loco, because when I heard it on Spotify, whatever, I was like, okay, I like this song, but I don't know what the context is gonna be. Like, I wonder how they're gonna do this. And when they did it, it was so good. I was like smiling and having fun, and I love when Hector gets there and like starts playing the guitar with Miguel. it was like a really nice connection, and I knew what was gonna happen, so I was like, oh, this is such a cute, special moment. But the only bad part about that scene is when the family from Miguel, who's looking for him during this concert, and they like, the camera goes to them and looking and asking, they're even talking while they're singing. I'm like, no, I don't care about them. I want to see like the performance. That was my only problem with the scene. I wish the family showed up to the very end of the song or something like that. That way it wouldn't have interrupted the moment of us appreciating the song, because I really like the song. I absolutely love that actor, and I forget her name because it was a very hard name to remember, but the wife get back together in the end. I was like, and when she's like, killed the love of my life, he's like, did you just say love of my life? No, I didn't mean that. It just gives excuses, and it's like, it's great. I loved it. And okay, I'm gonna get to the last part later, because wow, that was a very strong moment. But next character, Miguel. With Miguel, I love his character, but sometimes I was like, man, dude, I mean, I know you really love music, but you're dying here. Like, just try to do an agreement or some sort. Like, I know it sucks that you won't be able to play music, but you could be dying if you don't accept this thing. And it was just very, I think an emotional moment that a lot of people might not like talk about is when he interacts with, talking to Imelda, and he's like, yo, you'll never understand me. It's just very, because he's not angry at this point, because when he got angry, sometimes I was like, come on, Miguel, you're gonna be like a, you know, I mean, your family are super mean right now, you know, especially, oh, I'll get to that later, but at the same time, you know, don't always act mad. But in this moment when he was like sad, talking to her, it's like, you'll never understand me, you're supposed to be my family, you're supposed to support me. And I think that's such a true thing, you know. Family is supposed to be the one person who supports you, your passions. So I think that was a very strong moment. We have Imelda, which at first I was just like, I don't get her at the beginning. I just, why she hates the music so much. Like, okay, I get it, you know, your husband left you, this and that, but like, prohibit your whole family, and then that like hate continue for many years. That was the one thing that didn't make much sense to me. I was like, well, like I understand why the wife had the problem and maybe the daughter, but many generations going, like, didn't someone go like, hey, but it's a film, I'm not gonna overthink that, whatever. But as this film went on, I started to like Imelda way more. She was more funny towards the end. When she sings La Llorona, it was incredible. I love every second of it. It was great when she's just like escaping and singing at the same time, and then Hector is like playing. It's great. It's a great moment because I feel she's more relatable and funny. At first she was just like so just mean, but towards the end she's very likable, which I liked. The other relatives from the land of the dead of him, you don't get to know them that much, which is a pity, but you know, it's better for us to, you know, the story goes very fast and there's a lot of things you have to do. So I mean, I can't imagine a moment where they could have incorporated their family. So I think it's fine, you know. I love when he like sees them and then you can like see how they looked when they were alive. That was something very interesting, especially with Hector. I'm going back to Hector. Hector looked so different when he was alive, but it made sense. But yeah, they were great. And I love talking about this, something great about the animation, when they were going to the other world. I love how they were like, okay, stand up, and then they saw the pictures when they were alive, and like, okay, you can go. I think that's so creative. This film is so creative. Mama Coco, oh, I just wish I got to see her more. That was one thing, but she was just so cute, and I think she was great. She just seems like pure of good. She was just so sweet, and like, you know, she was there for Miguel to listen to him. She wasn't like the grandma, like, who was like, no, this and that. I was asking my sisters, like, why? I wonder why they named this film Coco. Because yes, because I mean, the main protagonist is Miguel. But as I was talking to my sister, I mean, I realized that Hector does everything he can to cross because he just wants to see Coco again. And it's just, you know, in the end, everything ties back to Coco, and everything was connected to Coco. So I think it made sense, and of course, it sounds better than Miguel. Cruz. Oh my gosh, this guy, I hated him. That's a good thing that they did really well with him. when I found out that he had poisoned Hector, I was like, what? How dare you? No, one thing is stealing his stuff, that's bad, but like poison your best friend. And he was just getting back to his family, gonna be happy, and you destroy that. I was mad. But the worst part, the moment I was like, whoa, Ernesto de la Cruz, was when Coco is about to, you know, get back. You know, the Imelda is like, okay, here's the petal, I'm giving you my blessing, and always remember that your family will always love you. And it's about to happen. He's gonna get back, everything's gonna be fine, and then that's when Ernesto pulls him. And I was like, no, like, this was my reaction on the actual theater. I was like, oh no, you're not. I was so like, to my sisters, like, oh my gosh, this guy, no. I tell you, these movies are roller coaster of emotions. It's insane how much you feel, you cry, you laugh, you get mad. It's a lot of emotions, and it's so great. It's so great, and it's like you think he's gonna go one way, but then it just goes in a different direction, and it's very unexpected and fun, and it's fast. So yeah, talking to Ernesto de la Cruz, oh my gosh, the way he died, that was so unexpected for me. I was like, he was singing his number, I was like, yes, I'm feeling this, yes, and then boom, and I was like, oh my god, did that just happen? I think the whole reveal was even like, because Hans, you hate him in Frozen, but in this, freaking Ernesto de la Cruz messed us up so much throughout the film. When he kept the picture of Hector, I was like, oh no, he didn't. So many moments where I was like, this guy, I can't wait. And can we talk about towards the end how you see the city, whatever, and then you see the place where Ernesto had his stuff for the Day of the Dead, and it says forgone. Well, I watched it in Spanish, it said olvidado. I was like, that's great, yes, love it. And then the grandma, that is, you know, I don't know, Elena, that's her name. I like her, but I didn't like her. I thought she was fine at some points, but at other points I was like, no. When she destroyed the guitar, I was so offended. I was like, nah, no, you didn't just do that. No, that's not cool. Stop. I was like, you go, Miguel, you run. I was like so feeling for Miguel because that was low. But I think it's something that was also great with the grandma was there's this thing in the Hispanic culture where we go, ay, Miguelcito, bonitito, chiquitito, and a lot of kisses, like especially like, well, this is more like older people do that to you. I mean, how old you are, your grandma would go like, oh, chiquitito, bonito, chiquitito, and kiss your cheeks and like rub your face, and it's always your name with the ito al final many times, queridito, bonito, chiquitita. So I was watching this with my mom and my sister, and my mom was laughing so hard at this because, yeah, it's something very relatable that happens a lot in Hispanic families, which I found it very funny for them to put that there. It's just a little, this movie is so full of little things from the culture that make it so relatable and real as a Hispanic, which I highly appreciated. So I want to talk about the traditions and things about this film. They explain, because I didn't know, I did live in Mexico, but I was little, so I wasn't much introduced to the holiday of Day of the Dead. I think it's such a wonderful holiday, and it was explained out such a creative and fun way and very easy to understand. This film just has so many important messages about family and passions and so many powerful messages, and I think any culture, I think especially in the United States, you know, you have Thanksgiving where you give thanks, and here, you know, in Mexico, they have this, and it's kind of like them thanking their ancestors and memorizing them, and I think it's so wonderful. And I love how they introduce all these Mexican, you know, things like alebrijes. The concept I have never heard before, and I absolutely loved it. From when you saw it in the real life to then see it in the Land of the Dead, and they were beautiful and so creative, and I just love all this research they did, because compared to Moana, I did feel like it was Polynesian, but I didn't feel like they explored as much as they could have with the culture. With this, I feel like they researched a lot. I felt like you saw a lot of the Mexican culture in this, and their traditions, and how families interact with one another, little things like that. I felt they were so real, and I think it's not an easy job to represent a whole culture and a whole country, and I think they did a really wonderful job. I learned so much in that almost 2 hours of the film that I didn't know of before, and I was like, wow, like if someone were to ask me now, I can explain them this holiday, and it's just so great. I think this film has to be supported so much, because in Hollywood you don't see that many Hispanic, you know, movies or Mexicans or Latinos. You don't see that much on screen or Hollywood, and this was such a wonderful, you know, fresh air, and so we had Elena Babalor now, which, you know, still a TV show, but it's better than nothing. And now we have Coco, so I beg you, please go support this film. Go with your families. I know you'll learn a lot. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you're gonna be angry, but it's just such an important message. And in the United States, there's a lot of Hispanics, and I think they will be very happy with this movie. I honestly, I don't know how American people will feel about this movie, because I understand it as a Hispanic. I relate to many, even though I'm not Mexican, I relate to a lot of, because I'm Argentinian, but I do relate a lot of the way they acted with one another. I could just relate a lot, but I don't know, in the United States, I've seen some reviews of people, they're like, it's alright, and I feel like they maybe don't get it. That's my bigger question, because I know in Hispanic countries, it's gonna be a big hit, but I don't know about the United States, because I don't know if they'll understand it, because maybe they don't relate that much, but I feel like everyone can relate about family, and everyone can relate about maybe losing someone. This movie touches you and think moments, like I'm not a person that cries that much in movies, whatever, but this movie, I spent crying so much towards the last 30 minutes. I was crying. It started when Hector was like telling the story of Coco and how he played Recuérdame, Remember Me. That's when I started crying, and you just kept going, and it was towards the end when you see Hector, Imelda, and Coco, 3 holding hands. That was so powerful. I was crying so much, and I went out and I had my makeup on. It was just like this. It was so funny to look at me, but I just didn't expect that I was gonna cry so much. It just touches you, and in situations that you have lived in. I was telling my mom that I would have liked if Hector was there in that scene when Miguel was singing the song to her. I think that would have been a bit cool, but I don't know how it would have worked with the plot. And then another thing that I would have been cool is that when he and Coco and Melda, they the 3 of them go together. I think it would be great for Coco and not for Coco, for Miguel and all the family in the real world to be waiting for them in the cemeteries, and then the 3 of them getting there and interacting with them, because I felt it was a bit fast when you went and saw them like singing and dancing. I was like, wait, they were just in the bridge, and then this. It just felt like not that heartwarming, I guess, because I don't know. And when Dante becomes an alebrije, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that was so great. I don't know if I like Dante. I didn't like him. He kind of reminded me of Hey in Moana, where he's just like not that very smart character, which has not much to offer to the plot. But then towards the end, I did like Dante when he saved them, and when he became an alebrije. I was like, that's awesome, that's great, I like that a lot. And the whole Dante thing, that he's actually a real, well-known, he's a Mexican dog, and the whole backstory, I cannot pronounce the name of the breed of dog, but it's this one right here. And they're a real thing, and it's said to know that they can guide spirits, and I love how they brought that detail to this. It was such a, again, by going back to the research, great job. And Frida Kahlo, all these little cameos from characters from, I watched it with my friend, she's from Mexico, and she was like, oh, this character, and oh, this is this guy, Frida, and then you had Zapata, this and that, all these famous historical people from Mexico, and she was loving every second of it. And I was like, that's great. I think that's amazing. That's a very, very cool nod to the culture. We see Coco die. I mean, we don't see when she dies or her spirits. You only see a very subtle moment when they just put a picture of Coco in with our whole ancestors, which it was a very touching moment. And you know, I think it was good for them to bring it subtle, because at this point I had cried a lot, and if they had shown when Coco died, that would have been too much. And so that was very subtle, and I did know that because I read a spoiler, like a comment section, so I knew that spoiler. But yeah, again, even knowing spoilers, I was so surprised by this movie, and I absolutely loved it. I wish I had gone without knowing any of the plot twist and everything like that, but I was still surprised with many things, and I still enjoyed it so much. I think it does have a very you can rewatch it many times. Kind of want to watch it again this weekend, not gonna lie. That was my review. Thank you so much for watching. I've been anticipating this movie for so long. I remember when they came out with the name, and we only had like little drawing of Miguel, and that was it. And it's amazing how now to finally get to see it after waiting for trailers and everything, I get to see the whole experience, and I'm so happy that it was good. I'm very relieved. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to be able to do this review, and I'll see you all very soon.